Hey, welcome. Heather here from Circle with Heather. I am excited to share this new moon wisdom and practice with you tonight. I have been in love with the moon for years and years, but it's just been this past year, maybe a year or two, that I have taken it upon myself to keep track with the phases of the moon in real time in my real life and apply the wisdom of that to my own inner work. So my goal tonight is to give you a taste of some moon wisdom and a practice you can do whenever there is a new moon or just whenever you feel inspired to have a fresh start. So let's get started with our meditation. I have my notes here. I have my cards here for you that I use in my circles. So, so get settled in, get comfortable, because we're about to go on a little adventure together. So when I meditate, I like to get in a comfortable position. I open up my chest. I make sure my head is balanced over my shoulders because I'm addicted to my phone and I look like this a whole lot of hours every day. So I make sure that my head is nice and elevated and my spine is a straight line. So get however you like to be when you meditate and just listen for a little while. Okay? So first we're going to close our eyes. And as we start to pay attention to our breath, I'd like to imagine a circle. A circle starting from your heart center, from your heart space right there, and expanding wider and wider and wider over the surface of the earth until it holds all the women in your life that support you and all the women that you support. So imagine this huge giant circle over states and countries, wherever it needs to go, holding all of these women together. Right? So this is going to be the container that holds us tonight. So let's take one deep breath here to get started. So big inhale together. Big exhale. And we're going to start to come into our bodies, into the present. We're going to let go of everything that happened earlier in the day. We're going to forget about everything that's going to happen tonight and tomorrow and in the future. We're just going to settle into our bodies for a minute. So I want you to bring your attention back to that heart space again, right in the center of you. So take a moment and feel the stillness there. Maybe the stillness between the beats, the stillness between your breaths, that steadiness that you have inside you anytime you want to access it. Take that moment, that feeling of stillness, of support, of steadiness, and let it move up and expand out into your shoulders, across your chest, across your back. That feeling just gets bigger and bigger. It travels down both of your arms. Feel it move past your elbows, into your forearms, down to your wrists. Feel it fill up your hand, and then go into each little finger on each hand. You can wiggle your fingers a little bit before you let them be still again in a moment of rest. Now we'll go back to that heart space, leaving that full feeling of steadiness in your upper body. We're going to move it, we're going to spread it, we're going to grow it down your spine, down into your belly. Let it fill that whole space with steadiness, with security. Let it move into your bottom, down into your sits bones, and out into your thighs. Let that full, safe, steady feeling move past your knees, down into the bottom half of your legs, past your ankles, and feel it fill out each foot. So feel it in the bottom of your feet, on the soles. Feel it reach the top of your feet, and then wiggle those toes to get it into each little crevice. And then, just like your fingers, let your toes be still. And now you're sitting in a body full of steadiness and security and support. Let that feeling grow lastly up your neck, the back of your neck that touches your skull, the front that holds your voice. Let it expand up into your head, move around the back of your head, up to the top of your skull, and let it trickle down the sides and fill up that space where your ears are, and then let it flush into your face. So notice your forehead. You can wrinkle it for a minute and then let it rest again. Let your eyebrows be still and rest. Let that gentle steadiness move down your eyelids, into your cheeks, and finally into your jaw. Let your jaw hang. Let your tongue relax. And just for a moment, or as long as you like, stay in this place of full steadiness, full comfort. And take a minute to notice your body in a new way. We're going to notice the elements in your body. So first we're going to notice the element of earth. So that's all the hard parts, all the bone and flesh, everything you can touch and feel. Just spend a moment noticing how complete all your parts are. Next, we're going to notice the water in your body. So your blood, your brain has lots of water, your digestive system, the moisture in your skin. Our bodies are 60% water. So let's just take a minute and notice that part as well. Next, we're going to notice the air. Notice your breath, the fullness of a breath that you can take in, that you can receive. Think about how that air seeps into your body, through your lungs, into your blood, and reaches every little nook and cranny. Think about the air all the way through you. And last, we're going to notice your fire, your heat. Notice the heat that starts at your core. Notice how it spreads. Remember how it feels to create heat through movement, through exercise, through exertion. And then remember how it feels to create heat with your spirit. Remember feelings of happiness and joy, of frustration and upset, of passion and inspiration. Take a moment and notice how all these pieces fit together, not just in your body, but in your life. Notice in this moment how you, in your body and in your life, have everything that you need. Each element is there, contributing to your steadiness, to your unshakableness. Notice that you are whole. Remember that you are significant. You have wisdom in your bones. and your inner fire is limitless. When you have everything that you need, you don't have to live in worry. You don't have to live in stress. You don't have to have control. When you have everything you need, as you do in this moment, you can be present. You can dream. And you can create. Now take this knowledge, take this feeling of utter steadiness. I want you to remember that giant circle that you are sitting in, that giant circle that goes all around and holds all the women that support you and all the women that you support. Imagine that feeling spreading all the way to the edges of that circle and beyond. We're going to take one last deep breath here, all together. So big inhale, big exhale. And when you are ready, you can come back to your screen. So I do rituals because they connect me with the reality that before I am a citizen of a certain country, before I am a consumer of certain information or goods or anything like that, before I am a teacher or even a mom, I am an earthling. I am a participant in an ecosystem, an ancient ecosystem. I am just a little piece of the surface of the earth bopping all around that is equal to all other bits. And if I ask my humanness, my earthling self, what is the most important? It is not what house I live in or what car I drive or how much money I have. What's most important is living in harmony with the cycles of nature so that my children and their children can have a healthy earth to live on and to thrive in. So tonight, the first thing we're going to do is find some earthly awareness by noticing the directions. And so if you aren't aware, take a minute to think about, from wherever you're sitting, which direction is north. So see if you can find your north. And if you can't quite figure it out in this moment, just make a mental note to do it later. But use that orientation to notice each direction as I call them. I'm going to show you my little cards that I use in my circles and read them to you. So we're going to find our place in the earth right now. So may the element of air keep us curious as we draw the east edge, as we notice the east edge of our circle. So right now, east is behind me. So just look to the direction of east in your own home, wherever you are right now. So now south, may the element of fire keep us inspired as we notice the south edge of our circle. So now look to the south in your own home. Notice where that is. And now north. So may the element of earth keep us grounded as we notice the north edge of our circle. So look to the north. For me, it's over there. May the element of water keep us present as we notice the west edge of our circle. So notice where west is, wherever you're sitting. So now that we've noticed where we are, you have noticed where you are kind of on the planet, what your orientation is, we're going to take a minute to notice where we are in time. So we're not going to use minutes or months or number of days. We're gonna use generations. So if you looked at your family tree, you'd be able to name lots of people going far back. But in this exercise, I just used 2 generations behind, and I have 1 in front of me. So I'll name my ancestors and descendants for you, and then if you'd like, you may copy in your mind or out loud. So my name is Heather, granddaughter to Mildred and Florence, daughter to Catherine, and mother to Summer, Skylar, and Cedar. So take a moment to say yours, if you'd like, to notice where you are in that long, long, long chain, where we are each beautiful links. And we're gonna ring a bell to honor ancestors just for a moment. All right, so before we get to some inner work stuff, I'm going to tell you a bit about the moon. And I could talk forever about the moon, but I won't. I'll just tell you enough to get you started. So the moon is that big ball in the sky, as you know. And it was actually my brother's first word. I'll have to remind him of that. But the moon is an ancient timekeeper, right? We notice it starting when we're young, and that's not new. That is an ancient practice. People were keeping time with the moon before they kept time with the sun. So the moon is the basis for many cycles on Earth, right? So this is a scientific fact, right? So tides, mating and fertility cycles, hunting cycles for animals, and used to be for humans, probably still some on some parts of the Earth, planting and traveling. So the Earth is also a beautiful visual representation of the universal cycle that is in every aspect of the Earth. So the moon is this ancient, steadfast, rhythmic guide that is available to us, that if you study its cycles, you are gathering information about the cycles that control or that influence all of nature, that we are all a part of and that are inside of us. So the new moon, which for me is today, is the darkest night of the cycle. It corresponds, if you lay the moon cycle, if you layer it on top with the cycle of the day, it corresponds with midnight in that cycle. And for the cycle of the year, it corresponds with the winter solstice. In the cycle of our lifespan, it corresponds with the moment of birth and death, right? So it's this moment between the ending and the beginning, right? So the last little sliver of the moon goes away, and you have about 30 seconds actually of an actual dark moon, an actual new moon, and then the new one begins. You have this moment of awakening, right? This spark that starts the next phase, that starts the next cycle. And it's like the instant that the seed that has been dormant starts to grow. It's this moment where you plant a new idea, where you realize a new perspective that allows you to grow from there. So let's think back to that meditation for a minute. What did it feel like to know that you have everything that you need, right? Not just in your body, but in your life, right? Inside of you. So this realization, that's where hope comes from. That's where abundance and gratitude and acceptance and freedom, that's where they all begin. That's where they all can start. That's where dreams are born, this awareness that everything we need is inside of us in every moment. So we're going to sit in this steady place and do some dreaming. We're going to plant seeds in our imagination. So just let it run wild, right? So go to a place deep down where you can find dreams that you don't even want yourself to know, right? At this time of year, it's July where I am. It's the height of summer. It's the height of heat. So it's a wonderful opportunity to just imagine what would be amazing. Like what would be the most amazing if I could dream anything. And I'd like to invite you to dream as an earthling, right? So not as a consumer, not as a citizen, not as, a certain role that you have in your life. Just as a member of your Earth's ecosystem, just as pure you, right? Regardless of the journey you've already been on. So I suggest my suggestions on what on what you dream about is on what experiences do you want to have? What relationships do you want to build? Do you want to experience? What knowledge do you want to gain? And what impact do you want to have on the world? Right? So just take a few minutes. You can pause this so you have some time to write and then come back to it and really just sit in that place of abundance and acceptance and freedom, knowing that you have everything you need inside of you, right? To go on whatever journey that you choose. So just take a moment and write all about it. Okay, so you're back. So in this moment of dreaming, you are engaging in your own evolution. We all are changing. Change is constant, right? And by being intentional about dreaming your biggest dreams and doing work to get to those dreams, right? Even if they take a day or a week or a month or a year or the rest of your life, right? By planting that seed, you are engaging in your own evolution. So once again, we're going to close our eyes. I invite you to close your eyes. And we're going to sit in that feeling. Remember to sit in that feeling of steadiness, of having everything you need, of total support, right? That you can find inside you. Remember that you are at a moment of awakening to your new life, to your new reality. That can be as different from your past as you choose, right? To make it. So take a minute and imagine yourself as future you, embodying those dreams that you just dreamed. Future you is in total acceptance and in full gratitude. I want you to thank that future you for taking the steps, despite being afraid, to make your dreams come true. Now, just consider for a moment, what was the first thing that she did to move in this new inevitable direction that brought your future self to live in this dreamy state? First, if you put aside any actual actions, right? Before she took any physical steps, did anything to make those things happen, first she trusted. She trusted she was worthy, that she was capable, that she was smart and resilient and strong, that she would take care of herself inside and out, no matter what happened on her journey. She trusted from a place of full acceptance of herself, her journey, and in gratitude for the freedom to act on what is alive and real in her. So right now, as your last action, write a little note from future you to now you. What would she say? Right? That person that has accomplished all the things, right? Has gained the knowledge and the experiences, has formed the relationships. Like, what would she say to you today? Just write that, just a couple sentences. You can pause if you need to. So, this new moon ritual is part of a 4-step process of change that you can use anytime that you want to grow in your life. This process helps you not get stuck or get burnt out. So if we operate from this market-focused, accomplishment kind of social structure mentality that I know I was raised with, that was in my mainstream culture. We get stuck, or we get burnt out, we get stuck in perfectionism, or we do too much too fast. So by engaging in this 4-step process that I've developed that goes along with the cycles of the moon and the seasons of the year, and is based on how change really happens, right? How nature really accomplishes change. you can really make things happen. You can really participate in your own evolution. So I have a worksheet that you can use to keep your evolution going. If you go to circlewithheather.com and enter your email, I'll send it to you. Or you can join the Sacred Earth Sisters Facebook group, and it's in the files there. So thank you so much for joining me. This was really wonderful having a moment, having some time to do a practice, to really dig deep into what is alive and real in you. So may you always know your power, the power that you have to change the world. So aho, sister. I will see you next time. Bye.